Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, forget everything you think you know about getting rich. Today, we're cracking open the blueprint from the brilliant entrepreneur and investor, Naval Ravikant. And this is about way more than just money. It's a roadmap to building a life of real freedom. Right off the bat, Naval just completely flips the script on what we should be chasing. I mean, look at this. Wealth is having assets that earn while you sleep. Think about that. See, it's not about grinding for a bigger paycheck. It's about owning the factory, not just being a worker in it. It's that app you built or the investments you made. You know, the systems that are literally making you money right now, even while you're just sitting here watching this. That is the real goal, freedom.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Well, our blueprint is broken down into these 5 parts. We're going to start by totally redefining what we're aiming for, then figure out which game we should even be playing. From there, it's all about leverage, the essential skills you need, and finally, the most important part, how to never stop learning. All right, let's dive in.
Okay, first up, wealth, money, and status. Now, this might sound kind of basic, right? But believe me, most people get these completely mixed up, and it's a huge, huge mistake. Getting this right is probably the most critical first step you can take.
So, what is wealth? Well, like it says here, it's the stuff that works for you 24/7. This, right here, is the real prize. It's not about having a big pile of cash. It's about owning the machine that makes the cash. Because that machine, it buys you back your time, and time is the one thing you can't get more of.
So what about money then? Just think of it like an IOU from society. Whenever you create something valuable, build a cool product or offer a great service, society hands you these IOUs. Then you can go and trade them for something valuable that someone else made. It's just the oil in the engine, not the engine itself.
And then there's status. And folks, this is the one to watch out for. This is all about your rank, your place in the pecking order. It has nothing to do with what you've created and everything to do with where you stand compared to someone else. It's a game of I'm up, so you're down. And honestly, it's a game that nobody really wins. And this table just lays it out perfectly. Just look at that middle column. Creating wealth is a positive sum game. What does that mean? It means we can all win. We can bake more pies. My success doesn't take away from your success. But status? That's a zero-sum game. For me to win, someone else has to lose. We're just fighting over one pie, and that's a miserable way to live.
So, that leads us right to this really critical choice. Which game are you going to play? Are you going to play the creative, collaborative game of wealth, or the nasty, competitive game of status? Because one of these leads to freedom, and the other, well, it's a total trap. So I want you to seriously ask yourself this question. What game are you playing? Right now, today. Are you focused on creating something new that adds value to the world? Or are you just trying to climb some ladder, maybe even stepping on a few heads to get to the next run?
I mean, the difference is just night and day, right? The wealth game is about us. How can we build cool stuff together? The status game is about me versus you. How can I get ahead of you? You see this everywhere. Toxic office politics, angry Twitter threads, those are pure status games. They're all noise and no signal. And Naval's advice here is so simple but so powerful. Just don't play. Opt out. Focus all your energy on creating value instead.
Okay, so let's say you've made the choice. You're playing the wealth game. Awesome. Now what? How do you actually win? The answer is one word: leverage. Leverage is the force multiplier. It's what breaks the link between your time and your money. And breaking that link is the only way to truly scale.
So Naval breaks leverage down into 3 main types. First, there's labor, having people work for you. Oldest trick in the book, right? But it's complicated, it's messy. Then you've got capital, using money to make more money. This one scales like crazy, but you kind of need money to start. And then there's the big one, the modern-day superpower, code and media.
And this is where things get absolutely wild. This new kind of leverage is permissionless. Think about that for a second. You don't need to ask anyone for permission to write code or start a podcast or make a video. One person with one laptop can create something, a piece of software, a video, that can be copied 1,000,000 times for basically free. You can reach the entire planet from your bedroom. That is an insane amount of power.
All right, so having access to all this amazing leverage is one thing, but actually using it, that's a whole other ballgame. And that brings us to the 2 skills you absolutely have to master.
Naval boils it down to 2 core roles. You have the builder and you have the seller. The builder is obsessed with the how.
They're the engineer, the coder, the designer making the thing actually work. The seller is obsessed with the why. They're the storyteller, the marketer, the one convincing the world that this thing matters. You gotta have both. You need the person who can build the rocket ship, and you need the person who can sell the tickets to Mars.
And once you see this pattern, you see it everywhere. You've got Wozniak the builder and Jobs the seller. Allen the builder and Gates the seller. Bren and Page at Google. History is just littered with these iconic duos. It's a formula that just plain works. So, if you're just starting out, which one should you be? A builder or a seller? Naval has some really interesting advice here. He says, learn to build first. Because it's a lot easier for someone who genuinely understands how the thing works to learn how to sell it than it is for a great salesperson to try and learn the deep technical craft of building it from scratch. So start with the hard part. Start by learning to build. And that brings us to our final section, which is really the foundation for this whole entire thing. It's the meta skill that powers everything else we've talked about, learning. If you want to build, if you want to sell, if you want to use leverage, you have to become a learning machine. Seriously, it's not optional. This quote from Bruce Lee just says it all, doesn't it? It's not about being a jack of all trades. It's about deep, deep mastery. You want to be the person who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Go deep on the fundamentals of your craft instead of just chasing the latest trend. Okay, so what does that path to mastery actually look like? Well, step 1, you build a really strong foundation. Read the classics in your field. Step 2, you have to get out there and do stuff. You can't learn business from a textbook. You have to get in the game. You have to fail. And then step 3, this is where it all comes together. You develop what Naval calls specific knowledge. And this is your unique cocktail of skills, passions, and things you've learned from experience. It's something that can't be taught in a class, and nobody else has your exact combination. And that right there is the heart of Naval's entire blueprint. See, it's not a step-by-step recipe you just follow. It's more like a framework for you to figure yourself out. It's about finding that sweet spot where your unique skills and your passions overlap with something the world actually wants, and then pouring leverage on it. So the final question isn't just what will you build, but what game are you playing, and what is the unique knowledge only you can bring to it? Thanks for watching The Explainer.